What is up, RotoGrinders? Happy Tuesday. We have a 12-game MLB DFS slate taking you guys all the way up the lock. Crunch time coming in an hour and change. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Roth. I just went ahead and dropped Ross weather report in the YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Hit that like button and subscribe. And turn on those notifications as you click on today's weather. Nothing terribly imposing, but, a couple things to keep an eye on. Roth will jump on if anything changes. I'll give some information on that in about an hour and change. And, of course, Kirkdiese also joining Crunch Time with Dave Potts. It's myself, returning champion, Head Chopper. Chop, happy Tuesday. How are things?
What's up, big dog?
What's going on?
What's up? You tell me. How's it hanging over there in Florida?
It's, it's just another day in paradise, right?
Yeah.
What is it? What is it? Mike McDaniel said, one more day closer to death. Was that his line?
Oh, come on, Mike. It's pretty terrible. It's Tuesday. Yeah, it's a big slate, big boy. 12 games, man. We got a big one tonight. It's crazy. It's going to be a fun one. Some things to recap from yesterday too that I thought were pretty interesting. So should be interesting, Dean. Should be a fun slate. I'm looking forward to it. We are about what do we? I was looking at it like 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Thursday, we'll have some college football. My Houston will be playing. I'm ready. I'm ready to rock and roll, Dean. Big Houston win last night. Shoved it on Crochet, man. So
all the good pitchers got shoved on. It's funny, you said recapping yesterday, and I was trying to figure out there was 4 pitchers, depending on how you look at it. But there was no correct answers. I actually cashed. This is not a humble brag, but I cashed I lost overall. But my best lineup had like 5 total points, maybe 3 total points amongst my pitchers that cashed. It's like
the answer was Will Warren in the mid range.
Yeah,
that's the answer. But yeah, as far as those studs, those elite guys, they stunk. They were terrible, but it happens. Now watch tonight. All the elite guys will just go ham for like 50 points. But that's the game we play, Dean. That's the game we play, sir.
It's a similar setup, right? Because I don't know, it's not exactly the same. I don't know if it's a star-studded as was last night, but you have Peralta and Skeens going head-to-head, 6.5 total. Skeens the best pitcher. Best skill set. I don't think anybody would argue against that. But one of the tougher matchups here against Milwaukee, they just don't lose. I'm not sure how they keep winning, but they keep winning, and good for them. And then Peralta on the other side. The Pirates, against righties, any meaningful category you can think of, they're the worst team in baseball against right-handers. ISO, WOBA, OPS, the Ks are like 4th highest or something like that. Then you got Flaherty taking on the White Sox, Carlos Rodon taking on Minnesota. And then you have a couple other guys that, probably have fallen off a little bit less consistent than they have been in years past. Spencer Strider taking on the Mets, Robbie Ray taking on San Diego. But, it's kind of similar, right? And the mid-tier stuff is uncomfortable. There isn't really, unless you tell me, do you think there's a Warren tonight that jumps off the page? There's a Nasty Nestor, he was horrific. And so far in this season, he's not been good, but maybe he's protected by the ballpark out there in San Fran. He's also super cheap. So you are tempted to some degree. Arrighetti is another guy who's really cheap. I don't know if I love the matchup here versus Boston, but he's cheap. And the pitch count was pretty good. I don't think he's going to be held down too much when it comes to pitches. But I don't love any of it. None of it's comfortable. But if you want to get an extra bat or two, I feel pretty good about my favorite team that I wrote about in the slate today. But I don't think there's one super obvious. I just kind of picked one and I'm running with it as far as my favorite team on the slate. We had a couple pitching changes as well. Javier Assad is now throwing baseballs versus Toronto, in case you missed it. Why is that? Did you want to play Ben Brown? Why are you booing about that?
Well, because you could have done this earlier in the day for us, for the guys who like to look at numbers of, certain pitchers and their xFIP, Sierra, strikeout rate, all the numbers on the pitchers that are listed as starters for the day. Now you come at 3 p.m. and you change things, and it messes up spreadsheets and everything. But, so you could have done it earlier in the day. I prefer not. No, I wasn't going to play any of the guys who got swapped out, but I prefer to be able to look at their numbers and the hitters that are going against them and how they might fare. But so you scrap everything that most of the stuff, some of that stuff, I don't even know which one of those guys is just a pure opener and the other guys are still going to pitch, whatever. But some of it, you just scrap everything. Yeah, it sucks. That's why it's a thumbs down, Dean.
Javier Assad's making his debut this year. He's coming off the IL. I know he did some minor league stuff as well. 4 innings or so. So I imagine not fully stretched, but basically a legit starter there for the Chicago Cubs. Travis Adams is also kind of like one of those guys that they sort of swapped in that wasn't necessarily anticipated for Minnesota. He is a part of that bullpen. He's the opener. He's going to go. Well, he went 5 innings on the 4th. He went 2 innings on the 8th. He hasn't been good, and that's something I kind of dug into. And then, spoiler, I like the Yankees tonight. The Yankees are my favorite team. I'm sure you remember the trade deadline a couple weeks ago or so. And the Twins traded away, I want to say, 5 relievers, including, Griffin Jacks got traded away. He was upset. I don't remember. He was upset because they pulled him out of the game. Did you catch this? He had a couple of runners on base. They pulled him in the game and they replaced him with like a shortstop. And he's like, dude, those are my runners. And this guy's going to he's going to kill my ERA. And of course, that's what happened. So he was upset about that. I'm not sure if that's the reason why they traded him. They traded everybody. And then the closer, who's now in Philadelphia. I'm losing his name with an R.
Johan Duran.
Oh, yeah. Nope, there's no – yeah, Duran. Yeah. Who I just incidentally traded away in my Dynasty League. How about that? Just a coincidence for sure.
Oh.
We got some draft picks. We're looking ahead to the future. it's been a for your boy.
You still need some saves this year?
Oh no, I'm done. I'm just I'm in the basement this season, unfortunately. But I'm seeing only one lefty left in this Minnesota bullpen, and it's Travis Adams drawing the start. Has not been very good. He probably goes 2 or 3, depending on. Maybe he can go 4 if things are going well. Hopefully they're not. And then the other one is pitcher for Chicago, Yandris Gomez. What do you know about Yandris Gomez?
Am I supposed to know something about Yandris Gomez?
Well, at like 2:30 in the afternoon, no, but like maybe in the last hour or so. 25 years old. He's 26th ranked in the organization for Chicago as far as the prospects according to Fangraphs this season. But that is he's bounced around. He's been on 3 different teams in 2025. But that's who's throwing baseballs today for the White Sox. And I did want to see, I think he's a legit starter, I think. Or is it what have you seen on that as far as Yandris Gomez? I'm not going to pretend to know anything about him either. I just kind of looked into him, before the show because I saw he's starting, but that's all I got.
Looks to me like just an opener, like a 1-inning guy is what the game log looks like for him. I don't see how they're going to jump him up. I don't see how they're going to jump him up quickly to anything else. So far this year, like you said, 3 teams, 6.40 xFIP in 17 innings. So that's not good. Doesn't bode well for him. xFIP last year, only 11 innings, 6.5. Doesn't look pretty. It's a 1-inning guy. I don't even look at these. I'm not even looking at this guy. I want I try to find the long. I try to find the long guy in situations like that. That's why I want to pin my hitters against. I can't pin nothing against this guy. He stinks. 93 mile an hour 4-seamer 41% of the time. Terrible. Yeah,
I think it was supposed to be Mike Vassell, and he has not thrown baseball since Friday.
Okay, it was Vassell. And are we thinking he's going to come in long relief? I think so. So that's who I'm guiding against. I think so. And that's who I was hinging my stuff against, and I think that's good. So I think this doesn't move the needle too much. I still liked a little mini stack against Vassell anyway.
Yeah, I mean, don't hold me to that. You never really know. But that's just kind of looking at the bullpen and the recent usage. He looks like the guy that if they need a long man, it's going to be him. Yesterday, Tyler Alexander threw 65 pitches, so he's not playing. Grant Taylor's thrown back-to-back games. Brandon Elsert, back-to-back games, 25 pitches and 20 pitches, so he probably is not available, one of their lefties. And it's just probably not a good collection of pitchers. Like you said, it's a who's who of nobodies for the White Sox these days. Oh, by the way, in chat they're clamoring. They're talking about Television Tuesday. We got a little swerve today, Chop. A little swerve. Got to keep the people on their toes. It is a Fleet Tuesday. We're doing a Fleet Tuesday today. And it's the same thing. If you like Television Tuesday, you're going to love Fleet Tuesday. Just tell me what athlete I'm talking about in the Discord channel. Going to drop 5 clues. We'll drop one right out the gate. Producer Steve's on top of it. Tell me what athlete I'm talking about in the Discord channel. That's rotogrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. Most of our Discord channels are free. This happens to be a free one. You just need a standard RotoGrinders account. Does not need to be a paid account. We love the paid accounts. Doesn't need to be a paid account. First clue, Chop, is HOF in big letters. What could that mean? That's the first clue.
Is the first clue HOF, Dean, or is the first clue Hall of Fame?
It's HOF in giant letters. So I mean,
oh, buddy, here we go.
What else could it mean?
More shenanigans. First you change it to Athlete Tuesday, which does not make sense.
You prepped all day, so I got to keep
TV Tuesday. TV Tuesday fits perfectly. TV Tuesday. You're trying to force a round object into a square hole. Don't like it, and then you come up with these shenanigans. HOF. I don't even know if that's Hall of Fame.
What else could it be? I'm not here to tell you exactly what it is, but like
exactly. Why can't you just say it's Hall of Fame or it's not Hall of Fame?
I mean, it's a Hall of Famer. How about that? There you go. I'll tell you definitively. There's clue number 2. It's a free clue. Now there's 6 clues. HOF does stand for Hall of Fame. How are you seeing tonight's 12 gamer? Got more games than we had last night. Went ahead and dropped the weather report. Nothing really of notes. You know, it's going to be hot once again for Sacramento and Tampa. 9.5 total as opposed to the 10 or 10.5 it was last night. Still no giant team totals, right? If we're looking, I kind of use like anything over 5 is, I don't want to say alarming, but Dodgers have over 5 against Victor Maduros for the Angels. So Dodgers, they're also locked in for 9 innings being on the road. So they're one of the more appealing teams when it comes to team total. St. Louis almost a 5 against Kyle Freeland. Newt Barr got hurt last night. Not in the lineup tonight. It probably wouldn't have been anyway, left on left. But he did not crack the St. Louis lineup. Kansas City has a team total above 5 against Mitchell Parker. And that Washington bullpen is not very good either. Casey Chalk just always feels, a little uncomfortable to me. It's just kind of not something I necessarily gravitate to. And then, again, I mentioned Minnesota. That Minnesota bullpen, the active roster, Chop, going to dig into this stuff, and I kind of talk about this since the trade deadline. The worst ERA and the worst Sierra active roster currently, and Travis Adams doesn't look great either. And the guy that was supposed to start, they still might trot him out there. I'm not sure, but he wasn't very impressive either. Also, just one lefty is the only thing I wanted to mention. He's just like a 1-inning guy too. So I feel much better about the lefties for the Yankees. Jazz, if you look at his splits, he's awesome versus righties, terrible versus lefties. So I feel pretty good about the lefties for New York. Worst case scenario, they face, 1 at bats. It just everything kind of lines up perfectly or not perfectly, depending on how you look at it. But I'm curious how you're seeing this slate. What is your overview?
Yeah, I don't know. It's very similar to yesterday where I built my lineups and I ended up going double elite pitchers. It was not such an elite build, but I can see the same thing tonight because there's even less guys in that mid range that I like. At least yesterday I had some. I was on Warren. I said we got to take Warren. He's good, but I started building. It was just too easy to get to a double elite pitcher build. And tonight looks eerily similar. I could easily fit in 2 of these elite guys on DraftKings and one of them on FanDuel and still get away with it with the hitting because of 12 games. With 12 games and nothing, no Coors Field, nothing complete. And the game out there in Sacramento being 2 decent pitchers. They're not great by any means, but they're not bad, just like last night. So they can kind of control things a little bit. Not really anything super primed up for expensive hitting. So I can go with cheaper hitting and really good pitching. It sets up the same way as last night. It's pretty weird like that.
My shell lineup, Chop. I mentioned the Yankees. It's the Yankees and two of the four, and everybody made the lineup that I had in there. I mean, I'm always going to tinker. I'm probably going to tinker with this, but I'm just realizing now my shell lineup actually everybody's in the lineup. So yeah, get excited about that. Maybe we'll keep that one. We'll see. No, we're going to tinker a little bit. Chop, good guess. Your guess was Dirk Nowitzki. It's not Dirk Nowitzki. He does qualify based upon the two clues, though. He is a Hall of Famer.
So there's two clues?
Well, I said HOF, and then I clarified that HOF was Hall of Fame. So it was kind of a 2-for-1
that's just
deal.
one clue. Or are you saying Hall of Fame is a bonus clue and HOF is something totally different?
No, clarifying that. No. I don't want to be confusing here. By the way, I'm seeing some guesses here in the Discord. It's funny because, there's really no way to guess this, obviously, unless you get lucky. But it's funny the names that are being thrown out. Devin Hester. Oh, Devin Hester, Hall of Fame? Really? Yeah. Craig Biggio, Reggie White, Dale Earnhardt Jr. I guess he's they have a Hall of Fame for NASCAR, I suppose, right? Is Jared Allen a Hall of Famer? I didn't know he was. He was guessed. Good for him if he is. Sterling Sharp just recently inducted.
He got there this year with Sterling Sharp.
What was Shannon, you mean?
No, Sterling, his brother, was a 2025 Hall of Fame, as is Jared Allen, 2025 class.
Oh, Jared Allen got there. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I missed that. I didn't watch the Hall of Fame ceremony. So good for him. I knew Sharp was there.
Sharp, first pair of brothers ever in the Hall of Fame.
Couldn't the Kelseys do that?
Absolutely. Could be, but right now they're the only ones.
You don't get a lot of with Kelsey. Is he a nose? What is he? What was his official position?
Who?
A tackle?
Jason?
No, he's a center. No, he's a center. Yeah.
Center. Goodness gracious,
okay.
Dean.
Well, sorry.
Don't you host a football show?
I knew he played in the line. I forgot which side he was. He was a big part.
Definitely one of the best centers of all time. I give him that much. Yeah, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. Probably first ballot, or at least it might be a little bit. They might be a little bit more hesitant on centers as opposed to like offensive tackles. But
by the way, the Mannings, you forgot about the Mannings, and the chat's reminding us of the Mannings. Eli is going to be in.
Dean, is Eli in the Hall of Fame?
He's going to be, though.
But Dean, I'd say right now this is the only pair of brothers in the Hall of Fame right now.
Don't you host football shows? You don't know Eli Manning?
I can't believe you're throwing Eli in. In fact, some people say Eli does not belong in the Hall of Fame. That's how much not in the Hall of Fame he is yet.
Well, he will be. I mean, you could argue about it all you want, but he's going to be a Hall of Famer. You could argue Sterling Sharp shouldn't be in there. He only had a 5-year run, 6-year run. He was amazing, but injuries, the
injury ruined his career. Absolutely ruined his career. I think that you could, Dean. I don't want to go there because I like the guy in his prime. He was great, and he was like just when I started out my fantasy football stuff for season long, and it was good. But you could make a big argument Terrell Davis doesn't belong there either because of the longevity thing. But his numbers were really good for a short time, but boy, they burn out quick.
Sterling Sharp played 7 seasons. He was awesome. He was really, really good. I think he played, if I'm counting this correctly, 7 seasons. Yeah, that's it. But 5 of those seasons, at least 1,000 yards. When 1,000 yards meant something, right? 16-game season as a tight end as well. No, wait, as a wide receiver. I'm thinking, but now I'm getting confused. Now I'm definitely losing credibility. It's been a while. I'm getting my Sharps confused. In any event, congratulations to all the Hall of Famers and Eli. And let me be the first to congratulate Eli Manning for making the Hall of Fame as well, because that's
He's
going
not
to
in
happen.
there, Dean. And he might not get in there. They're fishy like that. Sometimes the voters are fishy like that.
I mean, 2 Super Bowl wins. He has got a bunch of yards. He's got the face.
I don't know, man. If he gets in there, it's just because of his name, I think.
No. 2 Super Bowl wins.
Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl, man.
Not 2.
Trent Dilfer won.
He doesn't have the stats either. Okay. What are we doing as far as today's like? Do you see any Skeens, Peralta, Rodon? You want to add Flaherty against the White Sox? You can. I think that's the stop point. I don't have Strider in the same tier as those 4. I don't have Robbie Ray in the same tier either. Skeens is the best pitcher, right, amongst these 4 guys as far as K percentage. It's just it's actually exactly the same as Jack Flaherty. Him and Jack Flaherty both at 28.9%. But, Flaherty has a home run problem, 1.5 homers per 9 on the season. The ERA is at 4.5. Now, he's been a little bit unlucky, they're saying here, according to Sierra 3.5. But Skeens, less than a 2 ERA, a 3.11 Sierra. This Milwaukee team is, I guess they're pesky, right? Could we call Milwaukee pesky? Is that fair to say? Pesky is like a nice way of saying this team is overachieving.
Yeah.
Individually, they're not that great, but somehow the collection of players tend to work.
Dean.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pause you real quick.
Yeah.
Should Jim Plunkett be in the Hall of Fame? That's a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback.
So he's before my time. I'm aware of Jim Plunkett for the Raiders. Well, it's like, if you want to go down this route, you want to know the most overrated person that has a name. Terry Bradshaw was terrible. Like, he wasn't good. He was not a good quarterback.
He won 4 Super Bowls. Now,
Yeah.
Does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
He's a Hall of Famer, but he was not.
But does
good.
he deserve
If you
to
look
be
at
in
his
the Hall of
stats,
Fame? Does he
it's
deserve
a
to be in the Hall of Fame?
conversation. I'm sure there's going to be some old people.
So that's what we're saying. That's the conversation. Does Super Bowl
look at his
automatically?
Stats. They're terrible.
And Jim Plunkett, by the way, not only was he a 2-time Super Bowl champ, not in the Hall of Fame, he actually being the first Mexican American quarterback like that probably should carry some weight. So he should be in over Eli, in my humble opinion.
So Plunkett has won 2 Super Bowls and he's not in. Is that what you're telling me?
And he won a Heisman too, but that doesn't matter for pros.
I know the name,
but he is accomplished. Yeah. He's accomplished. Yeah, Jim Plunkett, 2-time Super Bowl winner.
Did he play for a long period of time?
Yeah, he pretty much did. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know enough to speak on Plunkett. I know he had at least one. I know he had 2 Super Bowls, but shout out to him. I assumed he was in once he was at 2 Super Bowls, but I guess not. Anyways, where are the Terry Bradshaw truthers coming at me in chat? The stats are bad. They're not good.
Bradshaw stinks. He's a terrible announcer, bad actor.
He's lived a blessed life, man. He has like a Broadway show where he sings.
Oof, brutal.
And like Branson, I don't know how I know this, but this was a thing once upon. Maybe it's still a thing. I think he has like a full orchestra. Okay. Tell me who your favorite pitcher is. How much we're prioritizing. I assume you're making just like the one lineup tonight. One main lineup for you.
Yeah.
What is your pitching pool?
One big lineup on DraftKings, one big lineup on FanDuel. So it's pretty easy stuff, Dean. I can just get out of this show, get my 30 minutes, and boom, put a lineup in. I don't have to worry about the other stuff. Yeah, the top of the rotation here very definitely comes down to 2 guys, Skeens and Peralta. I would definitely put Rodon in that elite tier, but a level below Skeens and Peralta, in my opinion. Skeens based on talent, but a kind of a poor matchup. Peralta based on a great matchup, not nearly as much talent as Skeens, although he's still good. He wouldn't be elite otherwise. But this roster for Pittsburgh is brutal. This active lineup, not just active roster, but the lineup itself, bad against right-handers, really bad against right-handers. Peralta's been pretty steady, pretty consistent. I probably you save $1,000 on DraftKings. He's my number 1. Skeens number 2. Good arm talent. You get the matchup. Is a little bit rough, but he can do his thing. So he's number 2. Rodon is number 3, and I would rather play Rodon over Paul Skeens for a couple different reasons. So Peralta 1, Skeens and Rodon next, but Rodon more of a DFS option for me. Then we get to Flaherty, who I think kind of a level below Rodon, but still really good. Gets a good matchup here and saves you a little bit of salary, but very inconsistent, man. This year, he's just always been inconsistent, but this year he's just in Detroit. It's kind of went on their winning streak to start the year, and then they've been pretty poor for a while. And Skeens bounces around kind of like that. He's good, he's bad. You don't know what you're going to get out of him. Or Flaherty. So Flaherty is a distant 4th. And then you get into some expensive guys that I probably don't want. Probably don't want no piece of Strider. Although he's on the list, he's good, he's fine, you can do it. The strikeout rate hasn't been as good. I don't like this matchup for him either. And then you get to Robbie Ray, who I think is very interesting. I don't like the matchup against a team that puts the ball in play and doesn't strike out much, but Robbie Ray has elite strikeout skills, and this is a great ballpark. So if you're going to play Robbie Ray against San Diego, at least you get the benefit of this ballpark. So I'm good with that. Let me turn my camera this way just a touch. Dean, how you like that? That's better. I'm going to center up. I like that. I like to be. So that's where I'm at the elite range, Dean, and then we get into the mid-range. So whatever you want to do from there, let me know.
Something you said I want to gravitate to. You said you'd rather play Rodon than Skeens for several different reasons. I assume one of them is that, Skeens is not favored to win. Like, you don't need those win points, but you'll take those win points, right? Tough matchup there against Peralta and again Milwaukee. They just don't lose. The Yankees did win yesterday, and they, if you want to argue they have momentum now going forward, whatever. They definitely needed a win because it felt like any day now we're going to get a firing of the manager. Why do we like Rodon better than Skeens? I guess it's just that the win points and matchup, right? This Minnesota team, not a lot of power outside of just Buxton, essentially. I know Austin Martin in a small samples has shown some power against lefties, but this team against lefties, Jeffers, really bad. Clemens, left on left, is not good. 0 extra base hits in 37 at-bats. They have Julian. Like, Julian's a guy they pinch hit for. And historically, when they have all their players, they wouldn't let him hit against lefties. Now they're starting him against a lefty. They don't do that. This is how, decrepit this the health is, and also trading away all their players there in Minnesota. I can't believe he's drawn the start, but I guess they have nobody else. And then there's Fitzgerald, who just made his MLB debut after 2,500 minor league games. He had a homer a couple days ago. Good for him. But, he's a veteran that, probably shouldn't be in the bigs either. Buxton is back, and good for him, and he homered right out the gate. But I really – this seems like a matchup where Rodon is going to – I feel like he's going to kind of dominate here, and righty power is his bugaboo, and who's going to get him? I guess Buxton can.
Yeah. Okay, so Skeens versus Rodon. First off, I think with Skeens, you also, there's – as good as he is, he still has trouble sometimes getting through out of the 6th inning. You know what I mean? Like, he can get there, but he can get cut short. His outings can get cut short too. It's not like he's a dominator that goes consistently 7 or 8 innings. You're kind of lucky to get into the 7th inning with him. So it's not like he has that big of an upper hand on Rodon as far as that's concerned. Strikeout rate, 28.9% for Skeens. Great. But 27.9 for Rodon is just as good. I'm not going to, quabble over one point right there on the strikeout rate. And then comes the matchup, Milwaukee, man. 10-game win streak. Offense that just seems to get it done constantly in the regular season like this. Not something I really want to deal with on the road like that. And then Rodon, like you just mentioned, Minnesota coming out with a lineup that just a little bit depleted, in my opinion, since, just a overall letdown of the team since the trade deadline. And I'm seeing them with out of their 9 hitters today, 3 of them I would qualify as pretty solid against left-handed pitching. Only 3 that you got to really navigate around. Don't have the Milwaukee official lineup just yet in my algorithm, Dean, so I can't comment on that one yet. But
it's out.
Is it? Okay, I didn't update it right before the show, but I can almost bet you it's better than the Minnesota lineup. So for those reasons and the slight salary savings you get, I prefer Rodon.
Yeah, but the Milwaukee lineup, I can go ahead and read it for you. Frelick, Collins, Contreras, Yelich, Vaughn, Durbin, Terang, Perkins, and Ortiz. I can't believe this team has won 10 games in a row. I don't know how they do it. But I had to, my curiosity had to be satisfied. Terry Bradshaw, in his career, has 212 touchdowns and 210 interceptions. The same.
Yeah.
His touchdown interception ratio is the same.
Leave Terry alone, man. Dude's old as shit right now. Hey, Dean, so I just updated while you were talking right there. That's how quick I can update my sheet, Dean. Boom, like that.
Look at you.
Milwaukee is, even with that lineup you said that doesn't sound great, 5 high WRC plus hitters against right-handed pitchers, 5, and only a collective lineup strikeout rate of 19%. So that matchup heavily favors Rodon.
Do want to give the second clue for today's Fleet Tuesday. Clue number 1 was HOF. Clue number 2 is Peach. Peach. There is your second clue. Tell me who I'm talking about in the Discord channel in RotoGrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. Peach is clue number 2. Somebody in chat was asking about Strider. I just I'm not making a lot of lineups. I'm not going to play Strider. I think that he is just not as good as he was. And you look at the last 30 days, he's been pretty vulnerable. It's actually pretty good hitting weather today in Citi Field according to Weather Edge. I know it's like the baseline, it's not good, but we're seeing a nice boost when it comes to the wind and the ability to homer. Last 30 days against lefties specifically, 368 ISO, 453 WOBA. Not a huge sample, but in total, still not good. 216 ISO, 370 WOBA. I know I saw his velocity spike up last game, but I'm waiting for him to have like a full-on just disaster start. The walks are teetering at 9.4%. It's not good. That's not good. And this Met lineup, it's all green, man. You look at that. You look at the plate IQ. Everybody's in the green, with the exception of a couple things here and there. But the first 6 hitters in the green on ISO and WOBA, they don't strike out. They're patient. And then Alvarez, he can show some power, but hasn't really shown it so much this year. We've seen it in the minors, if nothing else. Chop, the answer is not Larry Chipper Jones, but oh man, apparently we got a winner on 2. Bad job by me. Unbelievable. This is disappointing. I make it too easy sometimes. People complain, and I take it to heart, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna spoon feed the people the winner, and we already got a winner in the Discord based upon 3 clues, 2.5 clues. Shout out to Blink 182 Rue. We'll still play it out here for fun. If you desperately need salary, you're paying up for Aaron Judge, you're paying up for Ohtani, who's like the one pitcher you're willing to play amongst the nonsense? I think it's Cortez. I think.
What do you define nonsense? Anybody other than those elite pitchers we've already talked about? Is that nonsense?
No. The nonsense is like, I don't think Waka's full on nonsense. No, where does the nonsense start? Yeah, like 7. Is she in nonsense? Not really. Yeah, around 7K or less is nonsense.
Okay. Dipping down in that range.
Yeah.
I know that you say Nestor Cortez, and he actually got a tag from Cheese today.
Oh, yeah?
So he's definitely on people's radars. And he probably deserves to be on the radar pitching in San Francisco like this. I could see that. For me personally, I think in large field GPPs, I'll take a chance, and I'm not playing large field, so I don't have to worry about it. But I could play Spencer Arrighetti in large field and take a shot on him. That would be my preferred.
I don't mind that.
Over Cortez, he at least offers you a whole lot of strikeout upside with his strikeout rates that we've seen in his career. And the only question on him is going to be, at what point does he recover from being hurt for all those months? He's 1 start back, and it was not a great start. But at what point does he recover and regain form? Because when he does, and when he did, last year, he was smoking this league, man, the last 3 months or so. He had a good run. And he can strike out well over a batter per 9, like damn near 11 batters per 9 innings. He's got the strikeout rate. He's got the strikeout stuff. So, if we get prime Arrighetti here back to form, I like him over Cortez. I think both of them are in play for the really cheap stuff.
Last season, he had a 27% K rate versus lefties, 29.3%. And I think he's facing a plethora of lefties. Anthony, Duran, Yoshida, Toro, Abreu. So I think that's 5, I want to say. So a pretty fair amount of left-handers. And he just came back. He threw a bunch of pitches too. A few more than I anticipated, to be honest. What was the actual number? I'm pulling it up. 86. He threw 86 pitches in his first game back. So, Pitch count, not really a big concern. In a small sample, by the way, I'm mentioning Cortez. He's been an absolute disaster, but it's all small sample stuff on the season. He's given up 6 homers in like 12 innings. I think his homer per 9 is like 4 and change, but I wouldn't freak out about it. He threw 76 pitches his first game back, so this will be his second game, and maybe the environment helps him out here. Keeps the ball in the ballpark. Probably not going to give up 4 homers per 9. And I did see Dave wrote about him as well. We'll talk about him later on, I'm sure, as well. But is anything in between, like the nonsense and the good pitchers? Like, I think it's Waka, maybe Sheehan. There's some K upside against the Angels, but I'm really trying to get to 2 of those 4: Skeens, Verdone, Peralta, Flaherty. I don't really want Strider in my few lineups, and I don't really want Ray either. But do you have anybody in the middle?
In the middle,
Waka,
you said Waka, Sheehan, Lopez are the 3 middle guys that I would play. Right? Lopez, because he strikes out guys at a very high rate. Don't love the environment, though, in that stadium, but he strikes out guys at a high rate. Waka gets a really good matchup, and Sheehan, he's got some strikeout upside, too. In L.A., the Angels, I think their offense probably struggled a little bit more here tonight than it did last night. They went ham last night, man.
Yeah, another stud pitcher getting pummeled. Yamamoto not pitching so great there for LA. Okay. Anything else as far as pitchers, or shall we move on?
Moving on to the hitters. Oh, I'm curious to see your board here, your big board. Yeah,
so this is around the time of year where you start seeing, I love the random names that pop up in college football. Like, they're not necessarily stars, but you just see these names, and you're like, that person doesn't exist, right? There's no way that's an actual person that plays college football. So I saw one of those lists, and then I did a little research. I think I might have had a list from last year too, so forgive me. I'm not sure if some of these players are actually playing this year as well, but I picked some of my favorite names amongst the, college football, like you said, right around the corner. 10 days away, is that what you said? 2 weeks away until we get an official game.
Yeah,
coming up soon. I don't know if any of these guys will be on the field, but do you have any of these? You know what I'm talking about. You've seen the list of some of the spectacular names.
You're talking about like Parker Titsworth?
He didn't make the list. I don't remember him, but yeah.
You don't remember Parker Titsworth?
No. Was he a nose? What was he?
He's offensive lineman. There's a 5-star out there. There's a 5-star. He's not quite in college yet, but he will be in 2026. He's a good one, Dean. Sir Paul Cheeks. His name is Sir Paul Cheeks.
Well, it's funny you say that. I have a Cheeks, but it's not Paul Cheeks. Does Paul Cheeks have a brother?
No. Sir Paul.
Okay.
Makes it even better.
Sir Paul. Okay. So does Sir Paul have a brother, to the best of your knowledge?
That's a good question. I don't know. Who let's see your
There's
board.
A different Cheeks that made my board. That's so funny you said that. And you're not going to believe this. Just kind of works out. Guess what position? What will be the perfect position for Cash Cheeks to play?
Cash Cheeks? Oh, man. Yeah.
Tight end. Yeah. Cash Cheeks is a tight end.
Oh, I know General Booty. He's a quarterback.
So I don't know if General Booty still plays, but I know he's from the famed Booty family. You remember John David Booty and Josh Booty? I believe Josh Booty was drafted by the Marlins like 20 years ago out of LSU, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, General Booty, I believe, was bounced around. I think now he's at Louisiana Monroe, or he's graduated. I'm not sure. He played there last year. But yeah, General Booty, and of course, General Booty is the quarterback, which is amazing. And then who could forget Darius Clark, who's a wide receiver for Kent State. Cash Cheeks, who may or may not be the brother of what was the guy, Sir
Paul Cheeks.
Sir, is that a reference to Paul McCartney? Isn't Paul McCartney a Sir Paul?
You know what? It might be. It's tough to say to give somebody the name Sir Paul and not have it mean something like that.
Maybe it's a Beatles homage. We got to give this a Google. Let us know in chat. Is Sir Paul Cheeks related to Cash Cheeks?
What else you got up there?
I got Dude Person. Are you aware of Dude Person? A DB from Central Arkansas?
Never heard of that one.
Yeah. And then, you get the 5-hole. I'm told this guy's really, really good. He's a receiver for Alabama. But his name is just Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams.
Man.
That's
Just a
what's
plain
exciting,
name.
but that's not sexy.
It's
Ryan
not
Williams.
Sexy. Purdue has a wide receiver, Dean. His name is Nitro Tuggle. It's a good
That's
one.
great.
There are some good names in college.
Yeah, there's a whole list. Rocky Beers, King Large, Gentle Hunt. There's. I was going through a whole bunch. I had too much fun making my list, but it's some tough. Panda. Who could forget Panda Askew? Turbo Richard, Karate Brenton. I think the FanDuel account on Twitter did a pretty good job of putting some names together. So there you go. I power ranked some of my favorites. There's another DeColdis, but I think DeColdis Crawford might have graduated. I'm not sure, but I did see I had the realist and I had DeColdis, but I had to make it
the coldest played for Nebraska for like a while, and right when NIL came out, he had a good NIL run with an AC company.
Oh, that's amazing! Is that true? I love that.
Yeah, that's a true story.
That's really smart to like name your kid, like thinking about 18 years down the road. Like, what can they possibly endorse? Just give them a name to like a product they can endorse in 20 years. Okay, you got to play the long game. We'll drop that third clue here just for fun. We already have a winner, but the third clue chop is cream. HOF, Hall of Fame, peach and cream. Peach and cream? Peaches and cream? Not necessarily together. HOF, peach and cream. Okay, so let's knock out the first game. Minnesota and the Yankees. It's Carlos Rodon against Travis Adams. And whatever nonsense comes out of that Minnesota bullpen. We mentioned earlier, just one lefty. Unless they made a change. I want to see if they called anybody up, but I don't think so. This Minnesota lineup looks pretty rough. The Yankees, to me, it's your board, Chop, but the Yankees for me is just they are the best team today going. How do you feel about New York and Minnesota?
Yeah, I guess I'm not quite as on them as you. Minnesota's a tier 5 for sure. I don't want any piece of that. Chop's knocker blocker last night. David Bednar came in with an inning and 2 Ks and no runs, so shut him down. And then again, a good bullpen, a good starting pitcher. Don't want that. Yankees, I just have in tier 2. I'm probably selling them a little bit short, but I got to reserve tier 1 for the elite of the elite. And I just didn't feel like they were elite enough for me tonight. Maybe it's due to some recent struggles, whatever the case may be. There's a tier 2 for me.
All right. Yankees in the realist, Clark, Minnesota there with Ryan Williams. We shall scoot along. It's the Cubs and Toronto. Do we still not have a Toronto lineup? Do I have to refresh? We do have a Toronto lineup now. Okay. Jose Barros, Javier Assad making his debut this season with the big club, taking on the Blue Jays. This is kind of one of the sneaky games, I think, that's going to be somewhat ignored. Maybe not. You tell me, especially the Cubs, just because they're expensive, but certainly some boppers on this side. Where do you put the Cubbies and the Blue Jays?
Oh man, not a fan of this game offensively. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I'm got both these guys in the neutral category. Cash cheeks, tier 3. Cash cheeks. Barrios has been okay. I don't want to roster Barrios, but I don't want to stack against him. He's been good enough to limit stuff. I don't want to stack against him. And then on the flip side, now we don't even know what we're going to get out of the Chicago pitching. And I've said it before, I hate it when a team comes in with like a starter, an opener, and then he goes an inning or two and he can devote everything he can. And then you get bullpen after bullpen, matchup after matchup. That's tough on the lineup. Tier 3, even though 2 good offenses, I'm still just going in tier 3 with them.
I think we do have Assad throwing for a decent amount of pitches, right? 81. So it's not like a full-on bullpen game. He did throw 4 and change in the minors in his last start. So, but I hear what you're saying. I do agree with that general premise. Atlanta and the Mets. Strider versus Clay Holmes, 8 total. Mets are minus 150 favorites here. Where do you want to put the Metropolitans and the Braves?
Strider has not been good enough for me to want to roster tonight because the K rate, although still really good, is down from when he pre-surgery, put it like that. It's down from pre-surgery. But he's still too good to be stacking against, I think. So that's a tier 4 team, the Mets are. Sorry, producer Steve, I know that's your guys. Oh, and you guys are on a bit of a rough streak, but you'll be all right because Uncle Stevie's attending the game tonight. So maybe they'll get it. Maybe they'll get it together in front of him. But on the flip side, I think Clay Holmes is just good enough, and the bullpen is just good enough to where I don't want a bunch of Atlanta stuff either. So that's a tier 4 also. I think it's just going to be a good pitcher's duel.
All right, moving along. Speaking of pitcher duels, this is a pretty good segue. 6.5 total. Don't see those very often. If you do, you probably see the Pirates offense involved because the Pirates offense, like you said, it is terrible against righties this year. They're dead last in every meaningful category, essentially. Skeens has thrown the ball for them as well. So Skeens against Peralta, the Brewers don't lose. The Pirates can't hit. 6.5 is a total. Milwaukee's a minus 136 favorite. I imagine I know where these teams are going, but you tell me otherwise. Where's Milwaukee and Pittsburgh headed?
Well, you know where these two teams are headed. And RIP to Junior Seau, RIP to Dikembe Mutombo, both very famous.
55.
Both very famously wore the number 55, and both these teams are headed to the Ryan Williams category. I have no desire to roster. I don't even want a single hitter from this game, much less a stack. So I'm out on the hitting here and in on the pitching.
Are you in on Ryan Williams, by the way? I read apparently he's supposed to be really good.
He's great. Yeah, he's great, man. He's probably second most talented wide receiver returning this year behind Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. So he's going to be. That's the one I saw. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, nothing changes, right? Ohio State and Alabama, keep getting the best recruits still.
You got the money. You get the recruits these days.
Sure. No, I get it. Detroit and Chicago, 8.5 total. Flaherty versus Yandris Gomez. Throwing baseballs today for the White Sox. Detroit, another. What a world, man. Milwaukee and Detroit. The people that obsess over ratings. Well, what if they meet in the World Series? Probably not going to happen. Goofy things happen all the time in the playoffs, but it's just sort of weird. I like rooting for the teams that don't have the big salaries necessarily. Good to see Detroit having a comeback year. They're taking on the White Sox today, a team they should beat up on. They're minus 185 favorites. Where do you want to put the Tigers and the White Sox?
The White Sox are a tier 5 team. Flaherty can be bad. So if you want to go really large field, flagship GPP stack against him, that's on you. But he's good enough to where I don't want it in the mid-entry level stuff. So that's a tier 5. Detroit's going in tier 2. I still like this stack, even with the pitcher change, which we don't know how that's all going to play out. But I still kind of like this offense to do some stuff against whoever's out there for the bulk innings. I think they're all susceptible. So tier 2 for Detroit.
By the way, no J.J. Bleday for the Athletics. Do you see who's leading off today for the Athletics? A person who has not homered in a long time.
I did not catch the lineup. Who is it?
Kurtz. Nick Kurtz is
He's leading off.
He's leading off. Kurtz, Langeliers, Rooker, Soderstrom, Colby Thomas, Hernandez, Butler, tumbling, man. We talked about it yesterday. He's been in a rut. Luis Arias and no Urshela, so no Bleday, not in that Athletics lineup. But yeah, Kurtz batting leadoff. That is interesting. They just got banger after banger, right? Kurtz, Langeliers, Rooker, Soderstrom. They're just hitting their 4 best hitters. They're just not messing around. 1 through 4.
Oh man. But I'll say this much. Once you get past 4, they got 4 good hitters in that lineup. It's not like it used to be at the beginning of the season. 5, 6, 7. So Shane Baz, I'm not gonna play Shane Baz in that environment. It's bad weather, terrible pitching park, but there's something to be said that lineup makes I don't know who they got next series, but they bring that lineup to a big pitcher's park, and I'm in on the opposing pitcher.
The what's the guy's name? The rookie shortstop. I guess they're missing him. The contact hitter.
He's been dreadful for like 2 months now.
Yeah,
is Jacob Wilson?
He's an all-star.
Since the All-Star break, he's been absolutely putrid. So they're strengthening the lineup by getting him out of there.
Yeah, he was hitting above his head. Okay. Washington and Kansas City. Waka versus Mitchell Parker. I think Parker, one of the worst pitchers on this slate, I think we can say. Not the best ballpark here for hitting baseballs, but the one of the better throwers to attack is Mitchell Parker. Kansas City's got a team total above 5. I like Randall Grichuk as a cheapie. Possible pinch hit alert. I do want to see what his pinch alert would be when a righty comes in, because the Royals have a lot of similar guys. Yastrzemski's on that bench. He probably jumps in the game for somebody. It certainly could be Lofton. It could be Tolbert, the speedster. Just something to keep in mind. Yeah, Kansas City monster favorite here, minus 200 favorite against the Nats. Where do you want to put Washington and Kansas City?
Well, Washington's not much of anything I want a piece of, so that's a tier 4. We'll put Washington in dude person. Don't really want Washington. KC, extremely interesting. I'm grading very hard today, Dean. I'm grading very hard, so I still don't have a tier 1, and KC's not going to be a tier 1. They're going to be a tier 2. Yes, the ballpark does not. It's terrible for home runs. It'll be bad for home runs tonight in general. But what it does do with that space and that extra outfield room is create doubles and triples at a pretty good rate. So you can get base runners, you can get extra base hits. That's all good. But Kansas City, just in general, there's Bobby Witt, probably my favorite hitter tonight. But how am I, 4-man stack? Then I got to dig through some other guys. I like some of these guys. That's why I put them in tier 2. But that's about it, because they do lack a little thump. And also, I was looking. I don't like this lineup tonight. I like some of the guys. I don't like the left-handers they kept in the lineup against Mitchell Parker. Like, don't do him any favors, man. You put a couple lefties.
It's about Frazier.
Yeah, Frazier's number 1. Like,
he's the only lefty. Oh, Vinny's in there too.
Vinny's in there. I know you probably have to start Vinny, but I think you're doing him a favor. But yeah, for sure, Frazier at the bottom kind of stinks. But yeah, I know, tier 2, Dean. I'm grading tough today, man. I'm not giving you no curve here, man.
You're busting out the red pen, man. I respect it. All right, so Colorado is taking on St. Louis. Kyle Freeland, Matthew Liberatore. St. Louis close to a 5 total against Freeland. Donovan, the hero of yesterday's game, coming off the bench with a pinch hit 2-run double. He's the leadoff hitter today for the Cards. Also, Pozo's in there, the catcher Pozo. The other one, I'm losing his name for some reason in my head. The other cheapie did not happen to crack it. The former catcher, well, Herrera's there, and Contreras, I think he's catcher available on FanDuel. He's got a really good price over there. I think he's $3K. Like him a good bit. Burleson is starting left on left. Jordan Walker, who I thought might be good today. I mean, I guess he still can, but man, he's still really young, but is it never going to happen for him? And his numbers this season against lefties, not good. But in theory, a good play here against Freeland. A lot of power in BP, if nothing else. How about the Rockies and St. Louis?
Crazy, Dean. Crazy. The Rockies are a tier 4. I mean, Liberatore kind of stinks, but it's the Rockies. I'm not jumping through hoops to play them. Tier 4, dude person. There's some speculation in chat. St. Louis might be a tier 1 team. I had St. Louis yesterday, remember, in tier 1. And speaking of Pozo, St. Louis, every other hitter in that lineup, we can name them Bozo, because they stink, man. They didn't do nothing for me in tier 1 yesterday. And I won't go back to them in tier 1. They'd have to be a perfect matchup. They need to be in Coors Field or something. Not going to be tonight, but I'll put them in tier 2. But they won't be no tier 1 ever again until something crazy happens. They stink, man.
I kind of like the Contreras and Herrera. And, I'm willing to play Walker. I'm not happy about it.
And by the way, not only did they bury me in DFS, but I went down the line and hit 2 out of 3 on every prop bet I made on Prize Pay, like 2 out of 3, like all. And the only things that were missed was Contreras, Herrera, like the Cardinals, man. The Cardinals bats got me on the last leg of everything. So I'm not happy with the Cardinals today.
Yeah, you meatloaf it. You get no points when you meatloaf it. You got to get all 3. All right, clue number 4 is Victor. I know Chopper is still playing here in a little side game. It is not Ty Cobb. Wasn't Ty Cobb known as the Georgia Peach? Wasn't that his nickname? Is that where you're going with? Is that the route you're taking?
I was going with, Dean.
Yeah. Which implies I think a pleasant person. You can do a Google on that one. HOF, Peach, Cream, and Victor. Victor is your fourth clue. We already have a winner. Shout out to Blink 182.
You got to do a Google on the era in which Ty Cobb came up. Nobody was nice back then. Everybody was mean, man. They were some mean
Different
SOBs
degrees of mean.
Mean SOBs back then, man. So, yeah.
Did I set up a game? My apologies. Now I'm kind of like flustered. Oh, Arizona. Yeah, Arizona and Texas. That is our next game. It is Jack Leiter. Disco Stu. He's still starting. Anthony Discofani. Still doing his thing here for the D-backs. Texas has a 4.5 total. They are favored at minus 155. We didn't really talk about either one of these pitchers. This was one of those games where kind of sort of someone ignoring. I think the offenses are in play. You tell me. Where do you want to put Arizona and Texas?
Arizona, Texas. We are going Arizona. Oh, man. Jack Leiter, like he's not great or anything, but Arizona's a tier 4. I don't think I want a whole lot of Arizona here. Put them in dude person. Texas, as much as I don't like the offense, I do like the matchup for them. Some of these hitters should really thrive in this matchup, so they're going in tier 2. I think they have issues, but in general, there's some guys in that. Jock Peterson is cheap. Corey Seager, left-hander, who's always going to deliver. Probably a little underpriced on DraftKings. The lineup, there's some good things going on here.
I got to tell you, I'm not happy about it, but if you want to spend up for like a pricey stack, or if you want to spend up on 2 pitchers, Rowdy Tellez and Jock Peterson are right there as a mini. Like they're your friends until the game starts, and then all of a sudden, we did see Rowdy bang out a homer. Theoretically, both these guys have some power. Historically, of course, power against the righty. Both legitimate pinch hit risks as well. Understand that, but especially on DK, where Rowdy's 2.4, Peterson's 2K, they will help you get what you want to get salary wise. I don't know how many fantasy points are going to get you, but I'm willing to play both if it helps me get a team of other players that I happen to like. Okay, Boston and Houston. You mentioned Spencer Arrighetti. He's drawing the start here for your Astros, taking on Boston. We did see Alex Bregman. He got his revenge yesterday.
It's not revenge, man. That wasn't revenge, D.
Very vengeful.
It was just
he was very angry.
That was just feel good. Were
you happy when did you kind of like it? Is a Houston fan?
He deserved it. I like Bregman. When you sign Bregman and you have him on your team, it's not the on the field. The on the field stuff is really good. It's not that they get you. It's the behind the scenes that he does that really helps out a team. It's the fact that if you Google him, he's learned Spanish since the first day he came into the MLB to be able to communicate with his teammates because he's a good guy like that. And he's the one who probably turned around Hunter Brown his career quicker than it would have been. If not, he helps his teammates a lot. And I would suspect that he's probably helped out some of those Boston hitters here get on track. So he's he deserves it. But tonight in this particular matchup, Houston's a tier 3 team for me. Dustin May, I don't know. I don't know what to think about him. I think the lineup's getting better. It's getting healthier, but not quite there yet. Boston's a tier 3 too, Dean, because I just don't know what I'm going to get out of Arrighetti. I think he has if he's good, he can shut him down. And if he's poor again, then Boston will be a game winning stack. But we don't know what we're going to get. But I do know what we're going to get out of Chopper's knocker blocker. And by the way, when I do this, we need some music for this. With AI, I'm sure we can create some kind of free music, man, for Chopper's knocker blocker. But I got to go with.
Is it Hader? Because Hader might not be available. He wasn't available last night.
Hader is going on the 15-day IL, and hopefully that clears him up. He pitched 2 innings in his last outing. He's pitched more multiple innings this year than he has in his career. Like they got to give him some rest. So he's got a sore shoulder. He's going on the IL, which led me to some other guys in the bullpen I wanted to target because, Dean, if you need saves in your season long, now would be a good time to grab some Brian Abreu. He's going to be my knocker blocker, but there's a couple guys in this bullpen who are going to step up now. But Abreu is going to be the guy I target today as a knocker blocker, Dean. 2.89 xFIP this year, 36% K rate. I think that's all fine. He was, you try to be a starting pitcher pre-2021. Obviously, that doesn't work out for everybody. If you got the good stuff, you go to the bullpen and you're dominant like he is. It happens. So they really started to trust him in 2022. And, we've seen the result. He's been excellent for 4 years running as a setup guy in the bullpen, Dean. And what I really wanted to highlight was postseason. You can do all you want in the regular season. You get to the postseason, it's a different story. 21 games in the postseason, Dean.
He's clutch.
You got to have swing and miss in the postseason. You got to. 40% strikeout rate in 21 games in the postseason. 40% K rate. And I know you're an old school guy who loves the fantasy baseball. 0.97 whip in the postseason. He shuts it down, man. That's what I love about him. He was like so integral in the 2022 World Series run. He was that guy. So that's when a lot of people discovered him. But he's been in the organization for a few years prior to that, just trying to figure out a role. And the role was all along being a dominant bullpen guy. So he's there. Abreu, knocker blocker. Don't expect a whole lot of offense if things go right in this game.
Nobody really talks about whip anymore, right? Like you see it.
Nah.
You know what a good whip is.
Yeah.
But it's not something people talk about, right? Do you have a season-long league with your friends still or no?
No, I never did baseball season long really, but
Oh.
I can appreciate it. I can appreciate a good stat. I think some of the stats get swept under the rug too much these days. A good whip, that tells a story right there, dude.
Sure. 3 more games to go. Crunch time coming on 10, 15 minutes or so. Chief meteorologist Kevin Roth, Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood, Kirkwood, Kirkdiese. Does Kirkwood know he's on? I assume he knows he's on, but I just don't see him. Sometimes he's hanging out in the chat. Maybe he had a few things to do. He's not lurking in the chat. If you guys are in the chat, hit that like button and subscribe. Also, turn on notifications so you know when we go live. I'll give you the 5th clue here, chat, and those that are still playing along for today's Fleet Tuesday. This is not a television show. First clue was HOF. Second clue, peach, cream, Victor. The last clue, Chop. This is going to get you there. This is going to get you there and everybody else, I think. The last clue. It's pretty precise. Kefir. Kefir is the last clue. If nothing else, it's giving you a big piece of information. Kefir.
That's weird. That's a weird clue. Like the yogurt drink?
No. There's a yogurt drink called kefir? No, not like the yogurt drink.
Huh.
When you hear the name kefir, you think of yogurt? You don't think of a person?
Kefir. I mean, I think Kiefer Sutherland, but I also think of but nowadays this drink called kefir, Dean, that you use for your bacteria in your gut. It's pretty popular. Yeah, we have that in the icebox right now, so that's what I think of. But yeah.
Well, that's spelled differently. Kefir. Okay, I just gave it a Google.
Okay.
Yeah, and you think of Kiefer Sutherland, what do you think of? Like when you're trying to figure out what can that possibly
When
mean?
I think of Kiefer Sutherland, the first thing that pops in my head, boom, Lost Boys.
Oh, okay.
But
What's
I'm
the
sure,
second thing?
I'm sure a lot of people would think like 24, right? But
what would that mean?
The thing is, Dean, I've never seen an episode of 24.
I haven't either.
So I don't know. So I think Lost Boys, but whatever. Maybe we should do
a network TV
Kiefer
bias.
Sutherland board one day, man.
I have a network TV bias. I don't really watch network shows for the most part. A few exceptions along the way.
They're not as good. They're not as good, Dean, and that's what makes Lost the TV so good. It was a network, and it was still that good. So imagine that suck. Imagine that thing is on HBO. We're talking about that as the all-time best show ever if it's on HBO.
Well, you think it would have been better, is what you're saying?
It would have been
as opposed
even
or
better.
Just getting the credibility of being an HBO or. Yeah,
the credibility, the perception, and the leeway they would have had with the everything, script and sexuality and everything.
They didn't stick the landing is the problem. You got to stick the landing if you want to be an all-timer. They didn't stick the landing.
I mean,
that's what I say.
Yeah, some people say that. I think it was okay. I've seen worse.
It petered out.
I tell you what, Dean, we were talking the other day about Dope Thief, 8 episode little mini series. They didn't stick the landing. I didn't think. 7 episodes, just incredible. 7 just had me riveted on the edge of my seat every night, waiting to see the next one. And the 8th comes along, and I think they rushed it, so they didn't stick that landing. But not everybody does. Most people actually don't.
Yeah, which like Breaking Bad. One of the great things about Breaking Bad is like the show got better and better. And season 2 is better than season 1, 3 is better than 2, 4 is better than 3, and 5 is better than 4. And they just left right on top. It's just, you don't see that. Nobody has that sort of scale. But we're veering off. There's 3 more games to go. It's the Dodgers and the Angels. I think, unless General Booty's going to be all by himself, I think this is our best chance, maybe, to have a team in the one hole. It's Emancian taking on Victor Maduros and whatever's coming out of that bullpen. I don't think we have a Dodgers lineup just yet. Got to give it a refresh, but pretty sure that's not been dropped. No. But they do have the biggest total, almost 5.7, locked in for 9, down the road against the Angels. Where do you want to put the Dodgers and the redundant Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim?
The Angels are just a tier 4. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling anything about them. Tier 4, it's the Dodgers, and they are going to be our first tier 1 team. General Booty is the Dodgers. And I'm going to say this, Dean. Yesterday I made a comment. Now they're on the road, and I commented yesterday their home road splits are pretty obvious.
You made an accusation.
I'm just saying the splits are pretty obvious how much better they are at home, but I'm willing to put them in tier 1 on the road. But today I also want to throw a little something else out there, Dean, in addition to possibly cheating. The Dodgers, sickening. Let's just throw this out there, Dean. Shohei may just be a bad guy. He may just be a bad human being. I don't know. I'm not accusing him of anything.
There's got a weird business deal out there, right?
But now he's fraudulating the people of Hawaii who have been through so much in the last 2 years. He's stealing from them. Apparently, allegedly. I don't know anything. It's just what's in the internet today.
Maybe Tony, a bad character judge.
He may be a bad guy. He may just be a bad guy, period. He may be, in fact, someone in my secret chat said possibly part of the mob. I don't know, though. There's an Asian mob. There's an Asian mob out there. I don't know.
It seems pretty reckless to accuse. Yeah. I did see a story. I didn't dig into it, but apparently, maybe people he's associated with business-wise may have not done right for some people. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't fully dive into it, but you mentioned Bregman and speaking Spanish, and I can't help, the Angels is how Los Angeles. Did nobody think of that? Okay, that's what they're called, the Angels. All right, San Diego and San Francisco, 7.5 is a total. Nestor Cortez taking on Robbie Ray. There's Kirkwood. What's up, Kirkwood? Kirkwood in the bullpen coming in about 5 minutes or so. Tough ballpark to put up those crooked numbers in the scoreboard. Robbie Ray, Nestor Cortez. Small sample size, been a disaster so far this year, but we're not necessarily anticipating that tonight. 7.5 total, both these teams with a team total lower than 4. So offense at a premium. At least that's pre-flop. That's what we're seeing. Do you feel otherwise with the Padres and the Giants?
Don't like this game at all. San Francisco is a tier 4 team. San Diego, in fact, is a tier 5 team, although they could get, but the ballpark and everything else contributes. Now, Dean, I also want to point out real quick, because I know we're in a rush here. Yesterday, the BVP suggestion, I didn't feel good about it because it was against Logan Webb. Remember, I was like, I don't want to, Logan Webb. The algorithm knows things. 3 for 3 against Logan Webb was our boy Jackson Merrill. 3 for 3.
There's a tough call tonight. I'm really curious to see what it does. I'm sure you saw what I saw.
I mean, it is. But, it just goes to show you, man, sometimes the algorithm knows more than we do. It's comfortable with being uncomfortable because it really doesn't have a heart or a brain. It's an algorithm.
It's agnostic. I really want to see what it says because there's a player popping that nobody wants to play. But like you said, it's there's no emotion in it. It just makes the right call every single time. And it's just a suggestion anyway. Tampa and the Athletics, that's the last game. It's 9.5 as far as the total. Last game on the board, great environment here out there in Sacramento. I think it's a little less hot than it was last night, but in the 80s. Wind blowing out once again toward left center. We did get Kurtz leading off. Kind of a surprise there for the Athletics. They're shaking things up. No Tampa lineup just yet, but you're going to get some funky stuff. You're going to get some names you don't recognize. And you're also going to get some possible pinch hit stuff with the lefty starting here for Lopez. But the constants, speaking of lost, the constants for Tampa are Cameronero's awesome, and Diaz will be out there too. Cameronero just keeps banging out his homers. He should take advantage of this ballpark as well. So I like him as a mini, if nothing else. Morel, cheapy, possible pinch hit risk, or maybe they don't have the guys to even pinch hit for him because that roster seems to have thinned out Where do you want to put the Rays and the Athletics? Last two teams on the board.
Lost really could have done more with Walt. I needed some more Walt.
He just disappeared. Spoiler. Basically, yeah.
Well,
he got too tall. I think it was bad.
Yeah, they said he got too. They said he got too old for
seasons.
casting, and they didn't foresee that happening. But whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, this team, I really wanted this game. I wanted to be a late night hammer, but I respect the pitching a little bit too much. So both of these teams are just tier 3 teams for me in cash cheeks, because I just don't want to attack Lopez with the heavy strikeout rate, and Baz I think is decent, and it's a weaker lineup. So tier 3.
All right, we're going to get the BBP suggestion in just a second. We're going to get to the knockers as well. I do want to recap the board. This is I guess I power ranked some of my favorite names for the upcoming college football season. Some of these guys might have just played last year and aren't playing this year. My apologies if that's the case. But of course, General Booty in tier 1 related to Josh Booty and John David Booty back in the day. Only one team hanging out with General Booty. That's the Dodgers. The realist Clark, we got the Yankees, Detroit, KC, St. Louis, and Texas. Right there in the middle, it's Cash Cheeks, the tight end for UTEP. Chicago, Toronto, Houston, Boston, Tampa, the Athletics. Dude Person in tier 4, that's Washington, Atlanta, Arizona, Anaheim, the Mets, Colorado, San Fran. And at the bottom, he's spectacular, but the name is not. It's Ryan Williams. We got Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, the White Sox, and San Diego. Today's Fleet Tuesday. Chop, did you get the official answer? Do you have the answer? Do you know the answer? Or not just yet?
My last guess was Vince Carter, so I don't know.
It's not real. Yeah. Hall of Famer. Peach, it just tells us that this person is Georgia ties, went to Georgia. Cream. By the way, just so you know, another bonus clue for those that are still playing along. Names was kind of a theme on today's tiers. This person has a spectacular name. So they could have been considered actually for this board 25 years ago because they did play college football at Georgia. And they have a brother who also possibly could have been considered for this board as well. Cream is in reference to their last name. You were talking about yogurt. This is a Bailey's Irish Cream. You ever had Bailey's Irish Cream? It's delicious. When somebody is a victor, they're the champion. They're a champion of something. And, of course, Kiefer Sutherland, outside of being in the Lost Boys, started in 24, which means this person is number 24, Hall of Famer. Chop.
I'm not getting it.
Oh, man, not Boss.
Champ Bailey?
That's
a good one. Yeah, okay. I was not. Oh, Georgia. Yeah, he did go to Georgia.
Yeah, Hall of Famer.
Yep, he's
Bailey's
good.
Irish Cream, number 24. All right, so shout out to Champ Bailey. The people want it. They're clamoring for it. They want to know today's BBP suggestion. Does the algorithm have the balls to recommend this player?
I'll never forget the Champ Bailey playoff touchdown of like 100 yards. I think I was on the other side of that game. I was mad. You remember that? You don't remember that, do you?
I don't follow college football as well as you do.
Not college. It was an NFL playoff game.
Oh,
Champ Bailey took one back, I think, like 99 yards or something in a playoff game. And
I don't recall. I know he was like one of the best corners of all time.
Yeah.
That I can tell you.
I remember that's the most memorable play I remember from him. Okay, now there's nothing off the charts here. BVP suggestion of the day. Listen, I have to be honest with you, Dean. There's no tier 1 plays in BVP suggestion. That nobody like went crazy ham, jumped off the page. There was red marks on all these guys, but the one that I'm going to suggest is Jock Peterson.
Ah, there it is.
Oh, you think that's the one?
I mean, have you seen
that's a crazy play?
Yes. Have you seen Jock Peterson in the year 2025? Yes.
But these people are going to gravitate to those power numbers in there, but there's also underlying metrics to say this might not be the greatest BVP. That's why it's not a tier 1 guy, but
that's why I thought the algorithm would be torn. Yeah, he's got 4 homers and 19 at bats, 9 hits, 3 singles, couple doubles.
Yeah, that matters, but he's also had some swing and miss action against D. Scalfini too, so we don't know. All right, Dean. Now everybody wants the knockers, Dean. I'm labeling these today, Dean. I'm labeling these the Meghan Markle knockers.
Okay.
because what is Meghan Markle?
Queen? Was she a queen or something, or princess? Was Queen
Are
City?
you getting it?
Kansas City?
Oh no, keep
Wait,
going. She's a royal knockers. Meghan Markle is a royal.
No longer though. She gave it up, right? Didn't she?
No, still a member. Technically, still a member of the royal family.
I don't follow it as well.
They did give up some of their stuff, but they're still a member of the royal family. So these are some royal knocks, some Meghan Markles.
Yeah.
This one was tough, Dean, because obviously the obvious play is Whit, but I'm not going that route. Salvador Perez and Jonathan India. I'm bypassing the Griffith.
Jonathan India. Okay.
India and Perez are my knockers today. The Meghan Markle knockers.
There you go. All right.
By the way, I'm not a huge Meghan Markle. I think she's a tad bit overrated, if you know what I mean. But that's fine. To each his own.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really follow. I know she was in that show Suits, I think.
Great show. But network show, but great show. It was a cable show, but it had commercials, so I call it network, but it was a good show.
I don't really have a take on her, but they had a lot of them come my way. People like to give me their take for some reason, but I'm completely indifferent. I have no opinion. All right, seamlessly, let's segue to crunch time. We got Chief Neurologist Kevin Roth. We have Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, as well as Dave Potts. Cheese is good. Crunch time right now. What's up, boys? Roth, I see you in chat. What were you just typing? You're typing something in chat. Fancy? What was that in regards to?
Meghan Markle knockers. What kind? I was like, I didn't quite get the royal. I was like, are they fancy knockers? What kind of knockers are we? I missed it.
Do you have a Meghan Markle take you want to get out there or not really?
I kind of like her, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I think she's not overrated. And she has some terrible show that my wife sometimes watches. And it's kind of good.
All right.
There's my hot take.
Kirkwood just popped up as well. I thought we were fully assembled, but to me, it jumped out and jumped back in. What's up, Kirkwood? How are things?
Good. I couldn't believe my ears of Chop, going at it on Meghan Markle like that. Like, what if she was grading you, Chop? You know what I mean? I just find it crazy.
Perhaps she's DM'd me that she has graded me, and maybe this is my revenge on her. I don't know. You don't know. You never know a person's situation. So
this is like when we call a Major League Baseball player terrible. Like, yeah, we should talk. Yeah, we should talk.
Correct. No,
this guy stinks. He goes 100 miles per hour.
Overrated in terms of her perception. She's fine. Don't get me wrong. Can we talk about Roth for a minute? We've been doing this show for years.
What's up, man?
We're doing this show for years, Roth. My buddy. You're my guy, man. You're my guy. My fishing buddy. But
the green screen.
The point of the green screen is to put something in the background of it. It's not just to have a green screen in your background.
I like it. I think it says, like, I am the weatherman. I have a green screen, even though I do not use it.
I mean, it is called the green screen. That is literally what you have.
If I put something on it, it wouldn't be green anymore. It's a little ridiculous, especially since it doesn't fit in the frame. That really adds to the ridiculousness of it for sure.
Any update in the TikTok streets, Roth? How are things going over there?
I kind of stopped for a minute, but I'm trying to get back to it. It's going well though, man. I've got like 100 followers. I'm big time over there on the talk.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eat your heart out.
You're trying to figure out the algorithm?
Yeah. I'm doing stupid things. Like my wife's like, you got to talk really fast. So on some of them, I'm like, here's the latest of what you got. I'm talking like the Micro Machines guy, like, trying to break the algo.
Yeah. You'd think there'd be some crossover. Like you're saying, it's not a lot of people have necessarily found you just yet. That's strange.
We're working on it. It's new.
All right. Chop, anything else before I step aside and get out of here and make way for crunch time? 12 gamer. They have 45 minutes, plenty of time. Anything for the road, Chop?
Nah, we're good.
All right. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow Roth on TikTok. He sees the road to 10,000 followers. I don't know what the actual official number is, but we got to get to 100,000 followers. Something like that.
I think 10,000 I can make money. So yeah, give me the 10,000. I'll start making like 20 cents or something.
You got to start dancing. Have you started to dance or no? No dancing just yet.
Not yet. We'll see how desperate we get.
Soon enough. All right. That was Chop. I was Dean. Ross got you. Take it away, Kevin.
Good stuff. As always, welcome to it, ladies and gents. You know the drill. It's crunch time. It's two of the sharpest minds in the biz hanging out with me and my daughters. Dad just started a show. I love you, baby girl. We got Dave Potts, Cheese is Good in the house, as well as Kirkdiese. And, of course, we've got some weather as well. Cheese, how are you?
I'm doing all right. You doing better after you tell us the weather's totally fine everywhere, and then it'll be great.
Okay, we'll get to that. Kirkdiese in the place, the nicest Bostonian in the greater Boston area. What's up? What's he got there? Duncan representing, man. Well, representing Beantown. What's happening?
That's right, kid. I'm doing all right. I like this slate. I'm still like toying over. I made like 6 lineups, and I'm trying to figure out which I want to use for my main. And hopefully, I'll come to that conclusion very shortly because I have to.
Okay. DFS in Life says Duncan sucks. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, but if you grew up on it, you love it. So it's sure. Like, could I go to Starbucks or a real coffee shop? Yeah, and I can appreciate good coffee, but there's nothing wrong with an iced coffee from Dunkin' if you need it.
I don't even know if they exist down here. I don't know. I'm not sure we even have
They
Dunkin'
built
Donuts.
2 Dunkins in Auburn, Alabama in the last 3 years. Like, I would have thought that would have either happened 20 years ago or not at all, but we're just now on the train.
Do you have Shipley's? That's like the Southern donut chain. Do you have a Shipley's by you, Cheese?
There's one. There's not one here. They're somewhat nearby, but not here.
We got a bunch of those. Anyways, hey, the people are not here to talk donuts and coffee. They are here to figure out how to make some money tonight. And part of that is figuring out the weather. One game that has a chance for delay is not on the slate. That would be in Cincinnati, but I do think there's a decent chance, like a kind of mid to later inning delay there in Cincy.
We don't care
Yeah, nobody cares. Yeah, nobody cares.
about Cincy. It's on the slate.
Chicago has a flash flood warning right now, which is it's really raining a lot, really, really hard in Chicago. But the game is still 2 hours out. The game's still hour and a half out or so. And I just think they're going to wait it out. We have to make sure the field is okay, but I think it probably will be. They've got the sod father. They have famously good drainage, and they kind of get shit done there. And I expect they're just going to late start, and I expect that they're going to eventually play. I don't know that, and I want to make sure that the field is okay. But that's how I feel. And I think there is a fairly low chance of an in-game delay once they start. So if you want pitchers in Chicago, my current take is, yeah, all right, I'm on board with that. And then the last game is St. Louis, and that one is just such a wild card. There's just some storms popping up here, popping up there, just kind of around. I can't pinpoint them. I think it's just kind of a chance of a delay. I do think the game will play one way or another through a delay or 2 or late start or whatever it might take. But I do think that they're going to get that game in. Do we want pitchers in St. Louis, Cheese?
There's like a super cheap dart that's like one of those so cheap and you're hoping for anything that a delay is fine. Like if he pitches 3 innings and then a delay, it's kind of the same difference.
Yeah.
It's different than Chicago where you're spending $9,200 for a pitcher.
Yeah.
I want a pitcher on the other side of that game. So even though
in
I know
the St. Louis game.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you talking about Libertor?
Yeah.
Well, he's
my motto is
enough.
Yeah, my motto is
like,
I'll play Dean Shavelson, against the Rockies. So I gotta put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah,
but I think he's cheap enough on DraftKings that if it gets delayed after 4 innings, oh well, he can pay it off. If he's going to pay it off, like 12 points is the same as 16 at that point.
Yeah.
So a chance of a delay really at any point in St. Louis. I unfortunately cannot give you anything more than that, but I probably can before first pitch. I can't before lock, but I can before first pitch. And same goes for Chicago. Both of those games do not start at lock. They start like an hour after lock. And I'll have a lot more information before the games there than I have now because we'll be able to look at radar and just see how things look. That's pretty much it. I like the hitting weather in Oakland, Sacramento again, because it's always hot and the winds are blowing out there. So that's where I stand. And with that, I think we dive into the content. Gregory says, pitching for FanDuel, please. We'll get there, but we typically start with a little DK. Cheese, how's the pitching slate look?
It's good. There's a lot of everything. You kind of just got to forget last night happened and every single ace got blown up. It was wild. Wow. You couldn't have. I'm not sure I hit double digits in a single lineup. It was unbelievable. The 4 best pitchers all gave up at least 4 runs. But we got 6 good pitchers tonight, 4 who kind of split up the ownership up top. I think between Skeens, Peralta, Rodon, and Flaherty, essentially, I think they'll all be close enough that you don't play the ownership game with them. Like, they should all be between like 20 and 30%. So I don't think you're getting some huge edge either way. I think you play the ones you like. Skeens is a little bit more expensive on DraftKings. And so if I had to guess, I would guess he is the lowest owned of the group. And in any matchup, he's still just enough better than these other guys that he is my preference. But, you know, Peralta has the better matchup, the best of any of the 4. And then Flaherty is almost $2,000 cheaper than Skeens on DraftKings. So my best guess is Flaherty and Peralta end up more like 30%, which is kind of what we're showing. And Skeens and Carlos Rodon are more like 20%, that's about what we're showing. You can still play Spencer Strider and Robbie Ray. They're just kind of a clear step behind because of the matchups. For me, I have mostly Skeens and Flaherty with a little bit of Peralta. I did not end up with much Rodon at all. I don't want to just evenly play all 4 of them. I feel like at some point you got to just pick one. And Rodon is kind of the odd man out with where he's priced. Okay, so once you get past the expensive, I'm going to call it 4. You can, if you want to add Strider and Ray, fine. But for me, it's those 4. The mid tier is like the 8K range. I don't really like. I have a little bit of Jacob Lopez. You could play Shane Baz. I've got a little bit of Michael Wacha. But like, it's just kind of okay. And when you get cheaper than that, we have a whole bunch of wild cards that you could have any kind of favorites you want, and I wouldn't really argue with you. Matthew Liberatore is facing the Rockies. He's been horrifically horrible, like worse than Miles Michael is recently. I'm not playing him, but I get it if you do because it's the Rockies. Jose Barrios, I'm not touching at all. Jack Leiter, I'm not touching at all. But all these guys are like playable. So for me, I would go below 7K. I'm playing Nestor Cortez. Total wild card. We don't know if he's healthy and back or not. You could do the same thing with Spencer Arrighetti. Both Arrighetti and Cortez are 1 start off the IL, and we really have no idea. But they've both been very good pitchers in the not too distant past. So I prefer Cortez over Arrighetti, but you could flip them. And then if you need the full punt, you can play Kyle Freeland just because he throws strikes, and the Cardinals are really not good at all against lefties. He probably gives you like 6 points, which is only helpful if none of the aces have like 30-point games.
Yeah.
But it's viable.
Yeah. Just a quick note, Run the Bases in the chat says MLB Network just showed footage from St. Louis and the outfield looks like it's underwater. It hasn't rained in St. Louis in like 2 hours, but they did have an absolute downpour before that, and there is still more rain coming. So if it's still flooded from 2 hours ago and they still have to deal with rain, that would be concerning to me. So that is something that we need to kind of watch for. And I don't know if they're showing footage from 2 hours ago and that's when it was flooded and it looks good now or what. But that does, if that is really the case where the outfield is still flooded from 2 hours ago, then that could be a problem. So that is something we're gonna have to watch for. Kirkwood, what do we do in a pitcher?
Oh man, I don't know. So I agree with all the things that Dave said. To me, really, I don't have Skeens just because I can't get to them because I want some of these Yankee bats and also some Dodger bats tonight. So I'm playing Flaherty and Peralta, and then I'm also toying with 3 of the lower price guys in Arrighetti, Sheehan, who I know is not going to have a long, his 80 pitches probably max, but hoping for some efficient innings there, or Liberatore against Colorado. Like I said, I would play sweaty Dean Shavelson against Colorado. So if I say that, I got to go with my man Liberatore tonight.
Why is he got to be sweaty every time? Why?
Because there's a sweaty. who was the guy on the Nationals? Good pitcher, Cheese. I'm just drawing a blank in my head. Not Max Scherzer.
I think it was
Sweaty Strasburg.
Strasburg.
Yeah.
Who
When it
blew
was-
up anytime it was hot and
Okay, I remember that.
and so sweat dripping, uniform soaked. Guy couldn't throw a strike for his life, and he just hung meatballs in that situation. So that's the Sweaty Shavelson. I would still roster.
Okay, thank you for the update. I need to give a quick update here because shout out to Big Dean, who just tagged me a live photo of St. Louis, and the field looks great. This is 2 hours after the storm moved through. The tweet says, more absorbent than a roll of bounty. The field looks awesome. So I think I'm back to kind of where I was before, which is there's still going to be a few pop-ups. There's still a chance for a delay, but I do expect the game will play one way or another in St. Louis.
It's beautiful there right now, doesn't it?
Right? Yeah, but there's a storm like probably right behind the picture that Dean sent. So it looks great for now, but there's still delay chances there. Okay, sorry, I cut you off.
That was St. Louis you were talking about?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Good. No. So that's I've given that my all. I'm not using anyone else tonight. I get it. We could make cases for some of these other guys, but I'm not doing it.
Let's talk about FanDuel because right off the top we had someone ask, "What are we doing on FanDuel?" Kirkwood, who's your favorite FanDuel pitcher?
It's probably Skeens. It doesn't matter there. So we have like value bats on each site. And FanDuel is even easier to play than DraftKings. So I would go either Skeens or Peralta, and I wouldn't really mess around with anyone else.
Yeah. Cheese?
Yeah, it's way easier to fit Skeens. It's the same top four, and like the pricing is condensed there where it's more spread out on DK. You'll have a few lineups. Like I have like one Nestor Cortez FanDuel lineup just so I could play all the, Witt and Otani and Judge. But you really don't need to go below those top four. It's just easy to play them.
Okay.
I would rank them Skeens, Peralta, Flaherty, Rodon.
I did have someone ask specifically how low are you going at pitcher on FanDuel, and the answer is no lower than those top four.
Yeah, but again, I have one Nestor Cortez lineup.
Okay.
It's just because it's fun to play every amazing bat, but it's the vast majority of my lineups are one of those top four.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay, let's talk about stacks. Kirkwood, you can lead us off in that department. What do you like?
All right. Well, I love the Yankees against the pretty much what should end up being a bullpen game here. And a bullpen game against a team that just got rid of their best bullpen pitchers. So love the Yankees, especially the lefties. But so my favorites are Grisham, Ben Rice, Jazz, especially for second base because it's kind of rough position, but just feel nice when you get him in that spot there. And then also Bellinger. So love the Yankees, love the Dodgers too as well. I mean, I don't see those are the two high team totals. So these guys are going to be chalk, but I don't think it's going to be way too much chalk tonight. I think it's going to be pretty spread out everywhere, but those are the two top teams. And then from there, I think you can make cases pretty easily for the Royals look like to be in a good spot. But then again, they're the Royals, but they have been better. But Mitchell Parker is definitely a bat they can get to. Bobby Witt and Garcia at the top of the lineup. Salvi Perez just went yard yesterday. Grichuk is cheap at 3.1K. So that's a pretty good stack. And they have a 5.3 run total too, which is really big, especially for Kansas City. Other than that, those are the three that I really like. Then other than that, I'll let Dave give his view because I don't really have any strong takes other than that.
Okay. Cheese, your thoughts stacking wise?
Definitely the same up top. Like Yankees and Dodgers very much stand out. And the even better news with the Twins is they're down to like one lefty in the bullpen. So it makes it even better to play all these lefties. I mean, of course, play Judge too, but yeah, love the Dodgers, love the Yankees, love the Royals. And then the Tigers, the Cubs, and the world famous Colorado Rockies as a cheap fill-in team There you go.
Okay. There we go. Let's go around the horn. That's where we should go. A little catcher talk. Cheese, why don't you start us off?
Catcher is awesome. It always is. It's a little bit of a bummer not to have Will Smith, but there's so many options. It doesn't really matter. Langoliers, Ben Rice, Sal Perez, Hunter Goodman. Absolutely love all four of them. Like, to me, this is not the position you punt. Like, you could play Pozo for 3K, but like, I would rather punt at positions that aren't this good. So I want those four guys are in the vast majority of my lineups. For the salary on DK, Sal Perez is my favorite. Slightly ahead of Ben Rice, but absolutely love all four of those guys.
Yeah. Kirkwood, your thoughts, catcher?
Same guys. Ben Rice is my favorite. 4,400. Salvador Perez would be number 2. Langoliers I like, and then if you need a punt, it would be Pozo.
Very good. How about first?
All right, first you got Shohei. If you can get him either first or outfield, do it. I mean, it's a great spot. A bullpen game. So this the Angels bullpen has been pretty. They have the highest home run per 9 in the league, and I think they're like 7th in Sierra, something like that. And so this should be they should get to that pretty quick. And the Dodgers, who haven't been as great as we've been wanting them to be, I think this is a blow-up spot. I think they score a lot of runs tonight. Shohei's homered in like the last 4 or 3 games or something like that in a row. I don't see why not again tonight. Freddie Freeman right next to him. So, and you can play both of them obviously together. Vlad, I've toyed with a little bit against Assad, who's coming back. Bush for the Cubs is kind of cheap for, Barrios can be off with the best of them and give up bombs. So Bush leading off for 4,200 looks pretty good to me. I kind of like Spencer Torkelson at 4,500. And some of that, I also like the Cardinals, and some of that, Wilson Contreras just never gets played enough. So a game against Freeland, the Rockies, as long as you say the weather's okay, I like him 4,100.
Okay. Cheese, your thoughts there at first base, please.
Yeah, I'll start by saying I don't like the Cardinals stack, but I do like Contreras. I like Contreras and Herrera, who we'll get to in the outfield. But to me, Ohtani is fantastic. But if you're playing aces, you probably can't get him. And then like the mid-tier, Kirk mentioned most of the guys. I think Michael Bush and Contreras right around 4K on DraftKings are pretty great. Freddie Freeman. I actually don't mind Ben Rice at first because catcher is so strong. So don't overlook that possibility. I also like Torkelson. If you need a punt, you could do like Rowdy Tellez or Tyler Locklear. But I would rather not go that low in most lineups.
All right, take me to second.
So Jazz, to me, is the clear best play, and he's considerably cheaper than Marte. Like Ketel Marte is fine, but he's like $1,000 more than Jazz on DraftKings, and a little bit more on FanDuel. I don't like anyone else here for like this spend up / mid tier. Like they're all kind of fine, but if I'm not getting Jazz or Marte, I'm punting. Luke Keeschel is fine even against Rodon, but he's not like super cheap anymore. I know we just got the Dodgers lineup. Is Alex Freeland in the Dodgers lineup? If he is, let me make sure he is. So he's my favorite punt. You could do Thomas Kirkdiese. I prefer Freeland. And that's all I have to say. Mostly play Jazz.
Okay. Okay, we did just get a late start announcement in Chicago, which that was expected, so that changes nothing. I still think a late start and play is the likely outcome. a late start and play without an in-game delay is how I would lean. But there's a few little spotty showers, so it's not super safe. But that's where I think we stand.
I love your reply. If you didn't notice that someone named Jamaman asked the question, you're just like firing off a sentence like that. I expect a late start and play, Jamaman.
Jamaman? Yeah.
Like I just glanced at it. I was like, what is Roth trying to say?
Hey,
Now I understand.
What does this mean? Yes, Jamaman asked the question. And by the way, if I'm a little checked out of this, I'm looking at 3 different forecast models and radar and all that jazz. So I think we're on Kirkwood's thoughts at second.
Yeah, I have Jazz in every single lineup. But if you want me to name some other names, I can quickly. It would be Gleyber Torres. It would be Donovan. Paul DeJong, he hit a homer for me last night. So for 2,800, he could. I wouldn't mind playing him. He would be my cheap punt. And I just wanted to go on record and say it is officially Cheeseisgood. And because remember I said I had a friend from college named Cheeseisgood, and none of us knew how to pronounce it. And that was crazy. I watched the broadcast. Not that it matters. Just I'd say.
Okay, so I got it. I'll lock that in. Cheeseisgood.
I will not lock it in, and I do not accept it.
Yeah, it's not very fun.
And if I need to punt, it would be with Kirkdiese.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm with Cheese on that. Third base, where I think you can play that dude.
Sagese.
Yeah.
Cheeseisgood, that sounds the same. No.
Yeah, it still works.
Is it me on third or Cheese?
Yeah, you're on third. You told me in second you're just playing Jazz.
Oh yeah, okay. Caminero is the spend up in that park of the A's if I can do it. Garcia's leading off in a great spot against Parker. My favorite play is Max Muncy against in that what's going to be a strong bullpen game. He's starting to just find his power back here, so I like him. And then I've toyed with some Ryan McMahon down on the Yankees, the bottom there, and you can play Cole Keith leading off against the White Sox. How bad can it be for 3,400? But I prefer going for the upside guys like home runs with Muncy or McMahon or Caminero or Garcia.
Okay, Cheese, third base.
Yeah, I'll start with Caminero, kind of like what I said at first with Contreras and the Cardinals. I do not like the Rays, but Caminero is the guy that I do like on the Rays. I'm not stacking Tampa, but by all means, play Caminero. He's my favorite spend up. Muncy is my favorite mid-tier guy. Got a little Addison Barger in there, a little bit of Manny Machado. You could put anyone in it because it's none of these guys are like can't miss kind of plays. So if you wanted to play like Bregman and Michael Garcia, it's fine. But I'm mostly doing Caminero or Muncy or cheaper, which is Colt Keith, the occasional Royce Lewis or Ryan McMahon or Josh Young. They're just kind of in the pool barely. And then Kyle Karros if I need a super punt. Alex Freeland is third base as well, but as is Sagese.
It's the soft J.
I'm mostly playing those guys at second, but if you need to just punt at both the spots, you could use them at both.
Yeah. All right. Take me to short, Cheese.
Bobby Witt is the spend up chalk, but he won't be like mega chalk because you only have so many spend ups. I think Ohtani will still take more ownership than him. So I like Witt the best. But if you don't have that much money, I guess I like Seager ahead of Betts. I like either of them in any sort of stack with their teams. On their own, they're just kind of okay. Same with Bichette. Like all those teams are ones that are somewhere on my stacking list, and they're kind of important parts of the stack, but I'm not crazy about them on their own, which is why I prefer to go up to Witt or go down to good old Ezekiel Tovar for 3,200. That's too cheap. On FanDuel, it's much more Seager or Betts when they're 31 and 33.
Yeah. Okay. Kirkwood, shortstop, please.
Yeah, Seager's my favorite play just because of the price and batting second there. And I like him better than Mookie too as well, but I do have some Mookie in the Dodgers stack. And then I was thinking, Kim has been getting like the projections love him. Did he get played a lot last night because he was projecting for a lot of ownership? I wanted to look that up, but anyway, Hassan Kim, he's 3,900, but we don't even know if he's in the lineup yet. But if he is, he's probably leading off against Oakland. Yeah, and Tovar I have too, and then Trevor Story. If Arrigetti's off and going to give up 11 hits in a short amount of period of time, again, I want a little Trevor Story.
Yeah. All right. You get the honor to bring us into the outfield. Kirkwood, what are we doing over there?
Thank you for the honor. Shohei Ohtani comes in at number 1 for me. So we have like an awesome high end, and then we have like complete punts that you can play. Now it feels nice when you got Jock Peterson, and you start to believe a little bit. Oh, maybe he's back in form a little bit, and he's batting cleanup here. He's homered off DeSclafani a few times in his career, and it feels nice until the end of the night, and you look at your phone, and it's a nice fat bagel. But if you want that pre-lock, if you want to feel like you got a complete lineup, he does make a lot work. And so does Pereira for if he makes it. He came over in from the Yankees in a trade with Tampa. So he's got some power, he's got a little bit of speed, and he's 2K, and he's probably going to hit like 5th. So if he does indeed make the lineup, so keep an eye on that. I have some Jordan Walker because he's cheap for 2,700 against Freeland. That's in the St. Louis game. Herrera is not a bad play either. I know Dave mentioned him as the one of 2 guys that he likes, Contreras and Herrera. Randall Grichuk is cheap, like I said, for 3,100 against Mitchell Parker. And Teoscar's back in our life for cheap. 4,400 for Teoscar seems nice. And then the best play, like the cash play of the day, is like Trent Grisham leading off for the Yanks.
Cheese nodding in agreement. Cheese, what do you like?
Pretty close to the same group. I mean, Ohtani is the spend up. Like, feel free to play Judge, Rooker, Buxton, Corbin Carroll, and the Cubs guys. There's a lot of good plays. You can't get all of them. It would be amazing if you could get like 6 outfield spots, unlimited salary. You could win with that. But Ohtani's the guy if you can just pick one. Grisham in the mid tier is my favorite. Herrera. I'm playing a few guys around 4K, other than Grisham and Herrera. Like Kirk mentioned, Teoscar, Soderstrom's in that range. A little bit lower, I've got Ian Happ, Jordan Beck, Wyatt Langford. Like none of them are like, oh, you have to play this guy, but they're fine for the price. The same cheap guys like Grichuk for 31 looks great. Doyle is next to him if you want something different. Well, I'm only playing the 2 Cardinals. I do think Walker is fine. Like, this is the right kind of matchup for Jordan Walker. It's pretty hard to find a right matchup for Jordan Walker, but he's very, like, he wants to grow up to be Jock Peterson. But he does have, like, the power exists, and it's a low strikeout pitcher. So theoretically, it's the right matchup for him. And yeah, with Jock, like, maybe he hits a home run, probably not, and maybe he goes 0 for 4, but probably anyone you pay 2K for probably goes 0 for 4, and it's okay. So I don't hate it.
Okay, very good. We want to give the people some home run calls. That is something that they're always clamoring for. I want to ask for some thumbs up, for some likes, for free content here. You got 2 of the sharpest minds in the biz and the best DFS fantasy weatherman that exists. Although someone told me today that they saw a different DFS fantasy weatherman making a different forecast than me. So we may have a new one. I may have to see if I'm still the best. And maybe
I didn't want to tell you this. He's part of the Dew Point model.
Oh no, he's on your Dew Point model.
My first hire. Yeah.
Damn, dude, that's terrible. You're just killing me here.
I told him to stay away, though. I told him to let you do your thing.
Yeah,
There's room for
just
everybody.
let him focus on Dew Point, and I'll handle the rest. quick weather update, and then I want to give you a promo read, and then we'll get some home run calls. I think that Chicago really looks a lot like a late start and play. That is my current expectation. The game is already delayed. There are a few showers still beyond the late start and play time, but models show those fading out. And that makes me think that they probably don't cause an in-game delay. And if they do, it would be a short in-game delay, which is why I think I'm okay playing pitchers in Chicago. St. Louis is dry right now, but it's poured earlier. The clubhouse itself is flooded, which isn't great. And there's still a few more storms around. And that game makes me a little bit nervous because the storms around there are really slow moving. They're crawling. I still think they play that game, but right now I'm maybe more concerned about that game, even though there's no rain there right now, than I am Chicago, where it's currently pouring. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but
are you likely to know more before lock on St. Louis?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And both of those games, I'll provide updates. Do you say before lock or before first pitch?
Before first pitch is what I meant.
Yeah. I'll provide updates on both of those before first pitch as well. Right now, I think I'd play both of those games, but I wouldn't call either of them fully safe by any means. That's it. Oh yeah, promo read, and then we'll do some home run calls. In fact, let's get the home run calls to the people now. They want them. They're clamoring for them. Cheese, what do you got?
Sure. Yeah, it's always the best part of the show. At the high ends, we will do Jazz Chisholm. A little mid-tier Jordan Beck, and a random cheap little Tyler Locklear.
Okay. Kirkwood, you got a few?
Dad bod himself, Jock Peterson. It's a man trying to manifest this. So that's number one. Obviously, Shohei homers again tonight against his former team. And I will say Junior Caminero.
Are we concerned that we got like a scandal brewing with Shohei again? Does this make him more likely to hit a home run, less likely? Where does the new scandal fit into things, Kirkwood?
This guy is razor focused. He doesn't bother him. It's no big deal either. This thing. He's a target, is what he is. There's a lot of talk. Maybe he's a bad guy, this and that. I think he's just a target, and he's letting too many people do things. And he was just supposed to be a spokesperson for this living place, and he was supposed to live there to have a place too, and then everyone would want to come and move there. But I got to read more of the details. But as of right now, I'm saying no, he's fine, laser focused, locked in, ready to go.
Glad to hear it. Got to check. I know you're big in Narrative Street, so I got to double check. Hey, you know what is right around the corner? Cheese will let you know. It's NFL football season. It's right there. Fantasy Labs. We're helping you out. This is serious because we want to make sure that you're winning all your home leagues and winning your best ball tournaments. Fantasy Labs, your home for season-long fantasy football and best ball content. You get access to rankings, projections, articles, and more from award-winning experts. Fantasy Labs also has an app that lets you get real-time rankings, draft cheat sheets, lineup advice on the go. Sign up now, code RG15 for $15 off. When do you start drafting for season-long stuff? Is that now? Kirkwood, you doing any season-long stuff?
I don't do best ball. I don't do season-long. I do season long, but I don't put a lot of time and effort into it.
Okay.
I get ready for week 1 DFS.
True that. Cheese, you playing any season long this year?
I do not. No.
Okay. You did for a while. I mean, you must have.
Not football. No.
Never. Wow, that's surprising. Okay. Also, want to let the people know we got the Drive for Show DFS for Dough show coming up. The BMW Championship starts Thursday morning, and our show starts in 20 minutes. So that would be 7:15 Eastern is when the show starts. So you can hang out with us all the way. Our golf experts at RotoGrinders are phenomenal, so I highly recommend you check that out. Let's see if we got some QQs rolling in. Jumping into the Discord here. Waka or Sheehan on DK, Cheese?
I prefer Waka.
Let's go right back to you from Sin3 Cheese. Which trash can outfielder would you prefer in DK Cash / which one do you think is going to be more owned? Thank you.
I'm not sure how low we have to go to qualify for that one. If you're talking like straight up 2K, Jock versus Pereira,
yeah,
I think Jock is a little more popular. I would just play him, but I don't have a strong lean.
Okay. Let's see what else we've got here in the Discord. DKGPP Kirkwood, Belly Green or Carol Barger?
Belly Green.
Can someone just tell me when lock is? I'm trying to look it up while doing all this, and I'm failing. Is it 5 after?
It is, yeah.
Okay, cool. DKGPP Kirkwood, back to you. Flaherty and Lighter or Ray and Spaghetti?
Flaherty and Lighter.
Let's see what we got happening here in the old YouTube. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, by the way. Free content headed your way as always. Cheese, if you're playing one FanDuel GPP lineup, are you cool with Skeens and a Dodgers Kansas City stack?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Right back to you, Cheese. T9 says Peralta Rodon or Skeens Flaherty. Thank you.
Skeens Flaherty.
Kirkwood, Arrighetti or Cortez? Thanks, Roth. Don't thank me. I'm not doing it.
Cortez. I'm not a believer in Arrighetti coming back and looking awesome against the Red Sox tonight.
Okay. Keeper League. I feel like you may be barking up the wrong tree here. Full PPR, keep Jefferson or Gibbs?
Yeah, so what I'm going to say to this is here. This is what you do. You go on Twitter, you find Bobby Gomes. Bobby Gomes' Twitter. It's at Bobby Gomes DFS. And you private message him, or if he doesn't accept your private messages, just start posting and add him, and he will get to it and answer your football questions.
Okay. Not sure if this is a friend move or if this is throwing him under the bus. I can't tell, but I approve either way. That is clearly what you're supposed to do. Let's see. Kirkwood, what is this? A 3v3 DKGPP. Jordan Walker, Grisham, and Peralta. Jordan Walker, Grisham, and Peralta, or Jock, Belly, and Flaherty.
I like them both. Honestly, I don't have a strong opinion, so I would just make it up. But I think both of them are great, so just pick the one you like.
Okay. Let's see. Rice, Bush, or Torkelson? Cheese, DK Cash.
Yeah, man, I really like all three of those guys. In cash, I would slightly lean to Rice in that one.
Okay. Josh says Rodona, Peralta, DK Tournament. Cheese.
I prefer Peralta.
Kirkwood, DK GPP, Rowdy, or Jordan Walker?
I'm on the Jordan Walker train tonight, so that's my guy. But we needed to play in St. Louis.
Okay. Lone Wolf says, Kirkwood, would you play Peralta and Skeens together?
Yeah, I do that all the time, and not enough people do that, in my opinion. Great, you sacrifice 4 potential points
to get like no ownership. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cheese, DK GPP, Pozo and Green, or Herrera of the Arizona variety and Judge?
Herrera, Judge.
Cheese, is Mookie still in play, even though he's roughly 3 for his last 57?
He's in play if you're full stacking the Dodgers. I would not play him outside of that.
Okay.
But even then, like, he's not like one of my 4 favorite Dodgers. So it's just, he's in play because of where he hits, but he's not the same guy as he used to be.
Yeah. And you just take a little click, and then you look up Corey Seager and you plug him in right there in that Mookie spot.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, trying to catch up. Did I miss anything? All right. Back to the QQs. Favorite pitcher in a FanDuel single entry, Kirkwood?
I mean, it's Peralta.
Okay. FanDuel, Kirkwood, right back to you. Grichuk, Peralta, or Tolbert and Skeens?
Grichuk, Peralta.
TIG says, I'm just jumping on. Any last minute about Detroit and Colorado? I assume that those are the two teams
That
playing
means
in
Chicago
and St. Louis. Thank you. Just for what it's worth, I don't even know who the visiting team is under any circumstances. I think Chicago's a late start and play, and I would play pitchers there. Even though it's freaking pouring now, I have confidence in them. I'm a little bit more concerned about St. Louis, even though it's dry there, but I still think they probably play there as well. And I would play bats there. I would not play pitchers in St. Louis, or at least I would wait for an update that I'm going to give before first pitch if you do want to play pitchers in St. Louis. So that's where I'm at on those. Cheese, Stanton or Grisham, FanDuel?
Grisham.
Jim says, Cheese, thoughts on Braves, Olsen, and Baldwin?
I mean, they're fine. Like, there's so many teams on this slate. I didn't get to the Braves, but they're playable. I mean, I wouldn't tell you were doing something wrong.
No. Kirkwood, would you play Arrighetti and Courts together in a single entry GPP? Cortez,
Nestor Cortez. Yeah, I would. I mean, why not? If you get all the bats, go for it.
Yeah.
I don't really like Arrighetti, but he is a popular play tonight.
Yeah. Okay. FanDuel GPP, Skeens Conforto Kirkwood or Flaherty Jazz? Skeens Conforto or Flaherty Jazz?
Flaherty Jazz.
Geez, Alex says, I'm sad to have missed the show today, fellas. You still jumped in for a question. 2 arms for DK Cash. Who would you pick? What do you got?
I think the cash pair is Peralta Flaherty.
Okay. Blink says Jock Peterson and Waka or Marcel Ozuna and Arrighetti. I'm trying to win it all in a large field DK tournament. Cheese. Peterson and Waka or Ozuna and Arrighetti.
Trying to win it all is a bold strategy. It's a good one, though. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Honestly, neither of those feel like win it all combos. I prefer Jock and Waka. But quite honestly, I don't love either pairing.
Okay. I really like this question from Bergonia. Cheese. Your favorite swaps off Tovar at short and Barnabel at first if we lose that game. Is that Kansas City? I'm sorry, St. Louis.
That's St. Louis.
Yeah.
The good news is there's only like 3 games that have started before that round of 740 games. So you have most of the slate. It's harder to swap off Tovar. You can't really just go down at short, really. So I would probably go down at first. And if you don't want to rework anything else in your lineup and play like Rowdy Tellez and then go up a little bit at short. I don't know where the math lets you get with that. Probably up to 40. If that gets you Seager, if you had a couple $100 left, Seager would be absolutely ideal. If it doesn't quite get you to Seager, then I guess you have to play Ha-Seong Kim.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get a few more questions. We're seconds away from lock. Cheese, your favorite stack on DK not named Dodgers or Yankees? Thank you.
Every stack after those two is having pretty even. I'll give you 2. If you have salary, it's the Cubs. If you are going cheap and the news doesn't get worse, it's Colorado.
Okay. Kirkwood, DK Cash, Shohei Tovar, or Buxton Seager?
Shohei Tovar. But again, Tovar's, you got to have your a pivot ready in case the weather doesn't turn out well. So that's the right play, but be careful.
Okay. Last question of the day. Make sure you hit the thumbs up for us. Cheese, your 4 favorite Dodgers. This question from Kevin. Not me, different Kevin.
Ohtani, Muncy, Freeman, Teoscar.
Very good. And with that, we did all the things we came here to do. So for Cheese, for Kirkwood, and for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. Make sure you follow me on Twitter or X at KevinRothWX. I will provide some radar updates on these games. You have been